Hello and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Aiman, Ahmad and today I'm gonna explain about the making the story in games and completing it. So let's dive in. Okay, the first one is the structure of narrative in games, which have five of it, and all of this thing is related. So the first one is interactivity, second one is play control, the third one is non-linearity, the fourth one is collaboration, and the fifth one is cinematic. Well, okay, interactivity works when the game gives questions or actions to the player that require the player themselves to control what to choose or what to do, which leads to the non-linearity of the game story, which based on the player's decision and thus lead to the collaboration of the storyline. And also cinematic shows that I mean, oh yeah. Well, cinematic shows how the story could be portrayed visually, and yeah, if we could see what the stories tell us, it could make some people understand or more people understand. Well, for those who doesn't explore that much on the story itself, they might be helping them. All right, we're moving to the next slide, which is all right for the interactivity. Interactivity itself will make the player to give feedback and make themselves engage into the game. Well, the stories originally are not that interactive as there were no engagement from people or the player themselves. Well, the player, they can be a storyteller or the co-storyteller depending on the perspective of the game. And we do know that game is a non-linear paced story as the story is decided by the player who chooses their own path. Well, if you're familiar with game of the game like visual novel or Mass Effect or any game that requires you to decide based on either story, not story, uh, dialogue or action that requires you to interact with them. And yeah, that's a good. There's no need to play game if you want to know the story and not the game mechanics or gameplay. Me, well, that's true. And you can watch the story or read a book for that. Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm gonna go to. Well, this is the nonlinear pattern story, which we can decide either to which node of the story that we can enter, as the story itself were not supposed to be in the beginning of everything. Well, for example, if you play like Borderlands, they already created the universe, and there's a lot of lore in it. You just slip in any of the story nodes, and yeah, you play as themselves about the story, and at the same time, you explore about the story of the place or universe. All right, I'm moving into the next one. Right. Well, this is the storytelling basics or terms that were commonly used on making story itself. Well, the first one is exposition, which we have to introduce everything, and such as we have to introduce the character, we have to introduce the universe, and all the things that are related into the game. And then there's an event that makes the story. So, and then after that, there's a rising action, which a complication came and started to make fuss about it and leads you into a conflict. And then because of the conflict, it leads you to the climax, which we have to point out the greatest tension for there. Like, okay, what's the player gonna do? And then there's the falling action after the climax, which player need to find the resolution for the tension, and after they found the resolution, it leads to the denouncement, which or the outcome for the main tension. Well, that's the basic of the storytelling, and I'm gonna proceed to the next one. Okay, when we're creating a story, we have to think what to set in the story itself. Well, there are three things, which is the settings, the character, and the plot. Well, the settings is we have to think where and when the story took place, which is based on our own idea. It can be in real life, which is more realistic style, or fantasy, which is more creative and imaginative style. Mm, this is because just to make the player ready on what to expect. Well, yeah, if the story itself is in reality, or they might assume that, oh yes, they were the universe itself is just like our surrounding. Or if it is fantasy like the World of Warcraft, they might be imagining, all right, that's the universe. And what are the costs of making these settings? Yeah, it's cheaper than movie because you didn't have to make props and you didn't have to hire actor. It's a lot cheaper than movie. And the rule is up to you because the universe itself is not real and you created the universe. So there you go for the settings. And the character is we have to make their own personality, the traits, behavior, and their own response. And we need to make sure that they are defined by their actions, appearance, act, and the speech, which we have to make sure everything is in place so that they didn't break their character. And also, there's some situation that they need it to be exaggerated so to make the player understood about the character, such as uh, such as Sonic. If the Sonic hits something like Spike, he might be show that what the yeah, he might be twisting his head around and say, "Oh, I lose my coin." Okay, start to feel dizzy about that. Uh, that's all right. Proceeding to the next slide, which is the plot. Well, the plot it could be short or can be run on and on. It depends. And the plot in games are not easy like making a novel or drama because in novel or drama you can decide what's going to be the story. But the game, the story might be changing the gameplay, the style of play, the game mechanics itself. That's why it's hard. And also, it might be affecting the player movement to certain areas in the game world. They will limit the, not they will, they might be limiting the movement, the freedom of the player. Alright, interactive dialogue. They're not fixed, change over time and based on event, and player themselves have to choose their own responses. It will be either choosing different question, attitude, or behavior. Depends if you play Fallout. You might be quite familiar with it, and the dialogue can provide info for player or none. Like if you interact with the character, they might be hmm, just like that. So that's none. And also they can make the player themselves to learn about the character. Well, interactive dialogue is really important because they are they are the point in the game. They are the point to explore themselves in the game. If you get what I mean. Okay. Uh, next one is to make it balance. Well, this is an important aspect in the game which we have to refine and polish the game, and also we have to make it fun. Which we have to involve, engage, and make it challenging to play. And also during this process, we have to balance the value, the difficulty level, and overall of the gameplay. And finally, it needs to be deployed ASAP after the all major bugs are fixed because that's costful. And cost is not that cheap, especially on making a game and in a large company. Okay, what to do when game is complete? So we need to make sure to focus on making the game balance correct and smash the bug up to date. after that. Sorry. And also, the most important thing is the console game must be bug free or it will be rejected by the manufacturer, not like the PC. They didn't really care about that much because often get updated. And also, the game development team has to schedule a post-mortem to analyze the improvement on making the game before they lose their touch. Well, that's it. Uh, I hope you could understand on what I'm telling, and also thank you for listening to my lecture. Well, thank you and good day.